Well, hello everybody. Welcome to P.B.M. Money. Today I want to talk about crypto. How should we value it? And what are they doing with it right now? Is there a value on it now? Well, the traditional way of valuing things, whether it's currency or commodities or anything, one of it is supply and demand. Now, with the exception of Bitcoin, the rest of the cryptos that I'm aware of, there is an unlimited supply. You could manufacture all the digital coins you want of Ethereum and Dogecoin and all of them. So supply and demand is not really going to be the ultimate determination of value. With Bitcoin, there is a set amount. And I got to be honest with you, when money is involved, I don't know the science, I don't know the computer ease, but when all the Bitcoin are finally mined and the value goes up tremendously, I believe they'll find another way. There'll be a Bitcoin 2 or something. Just like there's a $50 bill and a $100 bill and a $10,000 bill. They'll find a way if there's enough money involved. So I don't really believe supply and demand is the way they're going to value crypto. However, right now you can buy different cryptos on stock sites. And in that measure, supply and demand is a thing. So, but for the ultimate goal for the crypto guys, if it's going to supplant the world money supply, then there needs to be a way of determining it. Another way could be acceptance. Does everybody accept it? The US dollar is the international trade form of currency because the entire world, with the exception of a couple of countries, mostly Russia and a couple South American countries, accept the dollar as the international currency because it has the full backing of the United States government, and everybody in the world knows that in the entire world the U.S. government is the most reliable and the strongest. And most people don't know this, but the U.S. dollar is backed by, it's called the petrodollar. It's backed by petro, the international form of trade that every country needs, and that's what our paper money is backed by petro. So acceptance could be a way. The problem with acceptance is, how do we get there? How do we make Bitcoin or Ethereum or Dogecoin, how do we make those acceptable and acceptance worldwide? Now, there are a couple of countries that have already said that they will accept Bitcoin. One of them is Venezuela, that has accepted Bitcoin as a form of trade. Now, I mentioned this a second ago, but another way to value crypto would be, is it tied to another commodity? As an example, the US dollar before early 1970s was on the gold standard, which meant each paper dollar that was made was backed by the gold in Fort Knox. Then we had what was called silver certificates, for those of you that are old enough to remember, and I am. There was dollar bills that had written on the face silver certificate, which meant you could turn that dollar bill in and get that amount of silver at any time. A gold coin, you could turn a dollar bill in and get that amount of gold at any time. And that's what it means to be backed by a commodity. Like the petrodollar today. You can take a dollar anywhere in the world and turn it in for gasoline. Now, those are the acceptable ways to value anything, specifically crypto. So as I was thinking about this, I was thinking, well, Bitcoin has been around now for over a decade. Its price is astronomically high, in my opinion. But I don't think it's going to, I think it's, if they truly mean that there is a limited supply, it will go astronomically high as it becomes more accepted. And it will become more accepted the higher the price, and the higher the price, the more it will be accepted. The problem with that will be unbelievable inflation. When you have too many goods and too many people chasing a limited amount of anything, the value goes up through the roof. Now, the major issue right now with all cryptos seems to be the acceptance, the time limit that it takes between you and I making a transaction. And if I pay you in cryptocurrency, the problem is the time between then and the time they can settle up and you get your money. And there are many, many technical reasons, the transfer, the acceptance, the fees involved, the time involved, the volume involved. There's a lot of things going on there, and they have not been able to work those out. Now, it is my opinion that the major issues to the acceptance of crypto as a currency is, first off, how are we going to legitimize it? And how can we monetize it right now? Now, in my opinion, it's already been legitimized. And we're going to cover that in a minute. But the major issue is going to be making it useful in our daily lives. A dollar you can use anytime, any place, anywhere. A US dollar is acceptable. Now, instant access is not necessary. You don't have to have a Bitcoin in your pocket to go to the bank or to go to the gas station, because it's a digital currency. As an example, I own no Bitcoin, no Ethereum, but I do have money invested in Ethereum on a stock platform. And I can get into that, get out of that any second of any day. So in a way, it is part, but however, I can't take that Ethereum and go buy a loaf of bread or a gallon of gas because it's not designed to be able to do that yet. So, in one form of speaking, it is mass acceptance on the stock platforms. And because of the stock platforms, you can buy partial coins. You don't need $5,000 to buy an Ethereum or $70,000 to buy a Bitcoin. You can put $100 in. And as I said earlier, the primary goal here is to cut the time necessary for each transaction, each person of every transaction, to settle up. Now, we've been talking about the acceptance of Bitcoin or crypto. In my opinion, it's already accepted massively. Some of the ways that I've noticed is an example. You can get a credit card that every time you use it, the cash back that you get is payable to you in Bitcoin or crypto. So you spend, instead of 2% cash back, you get your 2% in cryptocurrency. My son called me the other day and said he had bought a crypto retirement account, which means every dime that he puts into his retirement account, it buys crypto. And he, I think he did 40-40-20. Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Dogecoin, I think. Now, the reason that they can do that is because between the time of now and the time that it's going to be accepted, there's going to be a lot of time, so nothing has to be transacted in a small amount of time. And we talked about being bought and sold on stock platforms. Now, I understand that a lot of companies are accepting certain of the coins, and most of it is done for advertising, and I understand that. But the fact of the matter is, you can take crypto and go buy certain things. As an example, Elon Musk says he would take Dogecoin, and now I think he's on Ethereum, or Shimu Inu, whichever one he happens to be on this week. But he would accept that in payment for a car. Now, why is that acceptable? Because between the time you order the car and the time you get the car, in his business model, it could take up to a year. So you got plenty of time to make those things happen. Now, I want to end this video by explaining how we can do this. Again, I'm not a brain surgeon, but I do understand credit cards, and here's what I don't understand. We are talking about minutes to settle up. Between the time you and I do a transaction and the time we both get satisfied, if we're doing it on Ethereum or Dogecoin, it's a matter of minutes, at most a day, to get settled up. So here's my question. Why doesn't, I don't know, one of the crypto places issue a credit card and start acting like MasterCard and Visa? You do transaction with your Ethereum credit card, and you just go into the gas station and you pump your gas, you use your credit card, and the person or the gas station needs to accept Ethereum, but not really, and I'm going to get to that in a minute. And so every transaction that you have, they will need to have a special timestamp that goes on to your receipt, which they do now anyway. It might need to be a little bit more exact. And then when the statement comes out, it would have, you bought gas at ABC company. The Ethereum value would be 0.000012 Ethereum, or $20 US. And so you have two columns going down. When you get your statements, you have two columns going down. You could pay your bill with Ethereum, or you can pay your bill with dollar coins. And because the places that are issuing the credit cards are dealing in both, they can make that happen. And a gas station, if they only accept dollars, then they take the exact equivalent and pay them in dollars, all the way up the food chain. Everybody has an option to be paid or to pay with Ethereum dollars or with US currency dollars. And the reason that it needs to be time-stamped is because the value of Ethereum changes every second. But if you have a computer algorithm that says that Ethereum is worth $4,319 at 201.43 seconds, then that's the dollar amount that is posted on your statement. Now, everybody along the food chain has got 30 days to 45 days to settle up. So they print the statement, they send it to me, I pay in either Ethereum or dollars. The gas station pays the bank the normal percentage for a credit card, and they could pay in Ethereum or dollars. Then the bank sends it to the crypto middleman, and they can pay to have it processed in Ethereum dollars or US dollars. Everybody has a choice all along the way. But cryptocurrency could become mainstream if they would just figure out how to do that. And as time goes on, the more acceptable that becomes, the more widespread using an Ethereum credit card would become. It's just my opinion. That's just the way that I can see making Ethereum or any crypto mainstream right now, and bypassing the shortcoming. The shortcoming of any crypto is the turnaround time. If you can eliminate the turnaround time, it'll become mainstream pretty quickly. Unfortunately, what I see is everybody trying to do the turnaround digitally. And that requires a lot of hoop jumping. If you were to do an end around the digital, use the systems that we have now, it could become mainstream very quickly. Now, the main people will say, yeah, but if you piggyback onto the current system, all you're doing is creating another currency instead of replacing the current one. And they're right. But you have to take baby steps before you learn to walk. And if the main goal right now is acceptance and mass usage, this is the best way to do it, in my opinion. Well, you guys have a great day, a great week, and happy investing.